She is really extraordinary.
A one-of-a-kind type of person.
Tireless, and she is fearless.
Instilled with an ethic of perseverance,
my father was a businessman and an entrepreneur, just never gave up.
Irene Yasutake displayed a strong sense of social responsibility that began as early as junior high.
Why don't we do a fundraiser and raise money to get a wheelchair for the children's orphanage?
And continued through college.
I actually worked at a center on campus called the Center for Social Action. It was during the Vietnam War and Civil Rights era. So a lot of those early pieces formed a lot of what my interest was.
After graduating with a master's in public administration, she went on to head one of the few women's clinics serving the African American community in South LA.
Specific advocates around health, around empowerment, political empowerment formed as a result of that.
Irene was in that milieu with us, trying to bring a multicultural sensibility to civil rights in the city.
There were people wanting to start a museum, and given my experience in the nonprofit sector, would I consider coming and being the executive director? And I said no, I'm very happy doing the work that I have been involved in. And the more they talked about it, I thought, well, maybe this is a good time to think about a new challenge.
Irene saw the new museum as an opportunity to honor her own family history. Her grandfather had lost everything when his family was interned at Rower, Arkansas. Her father served in the MIS.
She looked awfully young, but when she started to talk, she was informed, she was articulate, in command, and very persuasive.
Who really put the national in the Japanese American National Museum.
She was really the captain in the sense of, if we were a ship, she was always looking out into the distance of where we should go.
Initially, I would have thought, oh, this lady's crazy, but I've always been astonished at how she's been able to realize all of these ideas that she had.
She was probably the one who thought, okay, we're going to open the museum and it's going to go into the former Buddhist temple. But at some point, we're going to build another building.
She worked day and night. And when we used to have volunteer parties, she would be right in there, cleaning up the floors, moving desks. I mean, she wouldn't leave until everything was done.
In 2008, after leading the museum for 20 years, elevating it into a world-class institution, Irene decided to begin a new chapter with Senator Daniel Inouye.
So I tell people that when we got married, you then have an extended family. When we got married, I married a whole state. So it was, I was kind of amazing.
Irene being Irene, she embarked on a new challenge, helping create the U.S.-Japan Council to forge strong international people-to-people relationships.
One of the signature programs that got created was the Japanese American Leadership Delegation to identify 10 to 15 people per year to go on an extraordinary trip of diplomacy, business, and cultural and social relationships.
The mayor said to me, listen, Mr. Ambassador, there's one thing that you can do. You can provide hope. That's where Irene is incredible. It was the smartest decision we ever made to ask her to consider being our co-founder of the Tomodachi Initiative.
Last I remember, it raised well over $50 million from both the corporate community in the United States and in Japan.
She never leads by fiat or by sharp judgment or with sharp elbows. She is there to provide ideas, provide perspective.
I wouldn't be president of the Ford Foundation without Irene's support, and I wouldn't be the leader that I am without her counsel, her wisdom.
The vision of having a museum like this had not come to be, then you wonder, there would be a huge void. And I think that the people that invested in the institution should be proud that we have a place that helps to allow other people to tell their stories, to do the kind of programming that brings those stories to life and brings the relevance of why it's meaningful now.